Think back to summer road trips with your family as a kid. Whether it was down the coast or across the prairie, it was likely in a slab-sided 5-door family funster, the iconic station wagon, or maybe a minivan if you're a bit younger. But when your kids recall road trips past, it'll likely be in something like this, a 3-row crossover. And Dodge wants to let it be known that 3-row utility doesn't have to be boring. They start with some aggressive styling, add a lot of fun features, and back it all up with a 5.7-liter non-Hemi V8. The result is a combination that gets you most of the benefits of both car and truck, with none of the panache penalty that traditionally came from the transition to minivan life. Hi, I'm Mike Perkins from CarGurus, and this week I'm driving the 2016 Dodge Durango RT. Now, I mentioned a V8, but most Durangos come with a 3.6-liter V6, producing a respectable 290 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque, which normally would be plenty for this segment. But despite being built on a lighter crossover platform, the Durango still weighs in at a portly 5,300 pounds, which means 60 miles an hour is going to take about 8 seconds, and that's on the slow side. Still, you are going to get 19 miles per gallon city and 26 highway and be able to tow 6,200 pounds, which is near the top of the list. The RT, on the other hand, gets you a Mexican-made 5.7-liter V8 that's a curious combination of tech. An iron block with aluminum heads, variable valve timing on a pushrod train, port fuel injection, and cylinder deactivation. And of course, there's the continued use of the Hemi branding, even though there's nothing hemispherical about the combustion chambers anymore. That's a discussion for another time though, because this engine is quite capable. 360 horsepower, 390 pound-feet of torque, a near 6-second 0 to 60 time, and a sub-15-second quarter mile. Plus, with a standard 8-speed automatic, you'll still get 14 city and 22 highway miles per gallon for a combined rating of 17, and be able to tow a maximum of 7,400 pounds. If you want any better, buy something with a frame. Now, if you do that, you're gonna miss out on the best part, or one of the best parts of the Durango, because that weight, even though I call it portly, when you combine it with independent suspensions front and rear and that rubber-damped subframe that it's got, it really does a lot to best that busy bounciness you get with true trucks. Now, the sports suspension here in the RT doesn't do as well, especially at low speeds. You are going to get some jitteriness and bouncing over rough terrain, but you have to keep in mind this isn't a car either. And what you have here is a pretty nice compromise, especially at highway speeds. Rear-wheel drive is standard, but the optional all-wheel drive system will get you a low-speed transfer case and a neutral setting for flat towing. Plus, it doesn't affect fuel economy at all, so the only penalty is some maintenance down the road. If you're thinking of going off-road or towing anything, it's a good idea. Even better, an available towing package will add a heavy-duty alternator, an oil cooler, some load-leveling rear shocks, and a full-size spare. For 2016, every V6 Durango gets a standard automatic stop-start feature for added fuel economy. And every trim gets this sport button here on the dash that'll tighten up your steering response, your throttle response, and actually hold your gears in the transmission longer before shifting. Although you can adjust the steering response independently in the controls here. Now, as is Dodge tradition, there are a ton of different trim and options packages here, ranging anywhere from $30,000 up to over $50,000, depending on what you choose. And it's far too much to list on one video, so check out my full review for a detailed outline. But there are a few new things that I wanted to mention. For 2016, the Citadel trim can be decked out in an anodized platinum appearance package, and that's going to get you a satin platinum finish for the grille, all the exterior trim, the mirrors, the 20-inch wheels. And for the limited trim, you can get, and I swear to God, this is the name, a brass monkey package. And that's going to get you a burnished bronze aluminum 20-inch wheel, blacked out badges and grille, and a monochrome paint job. I mean, God bless Dodge and all their weird, funky package names. Although I'm not sure anything really beats the Challenger Scat Pack that I tested a few months back. Here in the RT, you get that V8, sport suspension lowered about an inch, monochrome paint, sportier steering, nicer leather with those monogrammed seatbacks, and a Beats audio system, although it's up to you if that's a good or a bad thing, but the logo matches the interior. You also get some paddle shifters and dual exhaust tips. Lesser trims get roof rails and a sunroof, but you'll have to pay extra for them here, and really, they should be included. And all that is just the RT-specific equipment. You'll also get heated and ventilated front seats, heated second-row captain's chairs, LED running and tail lamps, HID low beams, a power liftgate, tri-zone climate controls, and an 8.4-inch touchscreen with navigation and the Uconnect system, which I generally consider one of the best on the market, but this one's been giving me a lot of trouble. The navigation system's been really slow to respond, and sometimes it turns off and then doesn't reconnect for a while, if at all. Same with the radio station scrolling. Sometimes it lags up to like 10 or 15 seconds. But I'm hoping it's just this example. My only real complaint is you don't get Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. I mean, those are nearly standards now in the industry, and you're not getting it this year. You're not going to get it next year either. In fact, the only cars by Dodge that offer them are the Chrysler 300, the Charger, and the Challenger, and that's a shame. Space is pretty abundant with 47.7 cubic feet behind the rear seats and 84.5 total, which is above average for the segment. And look at how accessible the rear seats are with these second row captain's chairs. I mean, this is one-hand operation, and I can actually fit in the back, but it's a $1,000 option. Now, lower trims have an optional rear seat entertainment system with dual 9-inch screens that flip up from the seat backs, but that's a $2,000 option, so it really depends on how much it's worth to you not to have to talk to your kids. Speaking of kids, the Durango achieved 4 out of 5 stars in government safety tests, with 5 out of 5 in side impacts. Independent valuations were even better with top scores, and braking from 60 miles an hour should happen in about 125 feet. And while that's average for the segment, it's impressive considering the Durango's hefty weight and these low rolling resistance tires. Not a bad choice for a vehicle that can pull 7,400 pounds and still kill a 15-second quarter mile. If you need to tow and haul, it's a hell of a good option. Like I said, there's a lot more to cover, so click the link in the description. You can head over to CarGurus.com and read my full review. And to check out some of the competition, just subscribe to the channel for more car reviews.